Hi guys, so I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail in this video of how the arena datas are built up inside the arena def. So in the last tutorial we saw about just swapping and deleting parts from the arena def to put the main event ring in the NXT parking lot. But in this tutorial I'm just going to show you a bit more in depth of how you would edit those arena parts or replace them altogether. So if we just load up a arena def file again. So these are the various parts that the arena def is made up of. So if we wanted to actually build an arena, we'd be wanting to edit these different sections to replace them with our own models and textures and stuff like that. So I'm just going to show you a bit of how that works. So let's take the floor for example. So the floor itself has its own JSFB hash here, and this is pointing to the floor JSFB for that arena. So if we actually search in CakeView again, we can find the data file for the floor. So let's have a look. So if I go, I'll just convert that into hexadecimal again, and that'll give us this hash. So if I search that, I search this in CakeView, and I've already done this a minute ago. So this is what comes up, and this arena def file is actually the one for the Raw 2024 arena. So it points to this floor.jsfb here. So if we want to change the floor for our arena, we actually need to make an edit to this floor.jsfb file. So let me just show you. So if I extract that and open it in hex editor, which I've already done. Well, actually, let's just go back to CakeView. Right, so when I search for this floor.jsfb file, this is where it showed me it was in CakeView, and you'll see in this folder, which is in arena commonness floor, then the Raw 2024 arena. So you'll see that there's the floor model file, floor.mcd, got the mtls, the material points to the textures and stuff, got a YCL, and you've got this groups JSFB file. So these four files underneath floor.jsfb are all pointed to by the floor.jsfb. So inside this floor.jsfb file are hashes that point to the model file, the mtls, etc. So if we wanted to create our own floor, we would not only need to duplicate this floor.jsfb and update the hash for it in the arena def, we'd also need to edit this file. Because you imagine, like, if you put all this data in a new folder with your models and textures, the path's going to change, isn't it? So you need to update the paths inside floor.jsfb to point to the new locations for the MCD and the mtls. So what I can do, so when I click on floor.mcd in CakeView at the top right, where I've highlighted, you can see the hexadecimal hash for the floor.mcd. So if I copy that and I go to the floor.jsfb in hex editor, I can search for that, hex values, search for, okay, and it will show me it in the hex file. So basically I need to update this path here to whatever the new one is. So whenever I create my own floor.mcd file, I need to get the hash of that and replace the hash in the floor.jsfb, and I've got to do that for the mtls as well if I change that. So to do that, well, one of the ways you can do is when you've created your new modded files, to bake them first and then you can open your modded CAC up in CakeView, then actually use CakeView to see what the hashes are. That's probably an easy way, or you can actually use Tribute as well. On the main menu does have a hash generator field that you can use. But basically the idea is you have to replace these in floor.jsfb. So basically it's just trying to understand the structure of the data. So remember, you've got your arena data in Arena Manager, which links to an arena def file by the hash. And then you've got your arena def file, which has many different sections for the parts of your arena. And within each one, you've got a hash that links to a particular JSFB file that manages that part. So floor, the hash in floor links to floor.jsfb. And then within the floor.jsfb, you have the hashes to the individual model files, the MCD, the mtls, etc. So to be editing all this stuff, you've basically got to edit each stage, if you know what I mean. So if I were to create a new floor, then I would create a new folder like this raw 2024 one. I duplicate it. Like if I'm going to make an arena that's kind of based on raw 2024 but it's a bit different or whatever, I would duplicate this folder, which would be a duplicating all of these, and then I would have to update the hash in arena def to point to the new duplicated folders version of the floor.jsfb, and then I would have to open up the floor.jsfb and edit the hashes for the model files, MCD, mtls, to point to the new versions of them in my duplicate folder. I realize that might sound quite complicated if you're not used to this kind of stuff. I'm trying to explain it as simple as I can, but I'll leave the video here for now.